All right, here we go, guys.
All right, guys, how you guys doing?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. A few of you hopping on. We'll get a few laters. A few laters?
A few laters? A few now and laters?
A few now and later. We'll get
I like that we have our backdrop back.
Yes, the backdrop is back. It's cool. It's a cool backdrop.
I like it. It's back.
Anyway, all right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get my thoughts together. We got a host of things to talk about,
including my freshly shaven face.
Oh yeah, today's episode is brought to you by the truth.
The truth.
That was not done on purpose.
No, we just showed up this morning to the meeting and
Both
boom,
had our truth shirts on. So
blue,
gray, blue and gray.
Truth. You can pick up one of these fine truth shirts at dynamicdisc.net.
Yes. I like the feel of the shirts.
Truth.
And I like the look of the truth.
The truth looks good.
I like talking the truth.
It's got a little silhouette on the back right corner.
Oh, yeah. Show everybody.
Okay. Oh. Boom.
Boom. Silhouette of
I can be close to you.
You can be close to me. All right. Let's get our thoughts together. Are you ready?
I'm ready, but are you ready?
I don't know. Am I ready? I feel out of sorts right now for some reason.
Did you hit record?
Nope. I need to go hit record. Good job. I'm glad you said something. Okay, thanks everybody for being patient with us. We know that this is kind of a casual format as we record for the iTunes and Stitcher podcast, audio podcast. If this is your first time tuning in on the YouTube, we do a live broadcast of our recording for the audio, where we have thousands of listeners and thousands.
Millions.
Well, not quite millions, but we're in the tens of thousands.
Tens of thousands. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for that.
Downloading our stuff on iTunes, and I appreciate everybody watching the YouTube video, but don't forget that you can listen to an audio, and a lot of people will listen to it while they're working out,
driving, commuting.
Yeah, commuting back and forth to work. Just out walking or stuff like that. So, anyway, it's really cool. So, we're gonna hop into the recording of the audio. Make sure I have your questions ready.
Are we sure that our YouTube listeners can hear us at this point?
Well, we have green.
We do have green. I was just curious because we don't have as many viewers right now as
we don't. We usually. Ooh, look at that video. Let's see. See if somebody says anything. If you're watching on, can you give us a signal that you can hear us either on the Facebook or the YouTube page? I wonder if I can get to the YouTube. I have green light, so I think they can hear us.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Okay, yeah, we're good to go. All right.
It's in my head now.
What is?
The
song.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
I am.
All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and we have with us here Eric the Eel McCabe.
Eel. I'm electric.
No, I got that song. I'm electric.
I'm electric.
I got that song in my head.
That's great.
All right, anyway, thanks for joining us, guys, on episode 46 of the Disc Golf Answer Man. Yep. And like I told you before, I didn't put that on my list, but like I told you guys before, we're going to be doing a giveaway for our year anniversary that's coming up.
Like the 4th of July.
The 4th of July is the first day that I posted this audio podcast. So if you haven't listened to all the episodes, you have a lot of catching up to do. But I don't know that we'll release it on 4th of July, but around that time period, we're going to do a 1-year anniversary special Disc Golf Answer Man.
Nice.
Cool. Let's see. And then, somebody else had turned in a jingle, Eric and the Breeze.
Oh, yeah.
So it was pretty cool, little jingle. And I think I have 4 or 5 MP3s turned in, and I think 1 or 2 videos. submitted. So on that 1 year anniversary episode, we're going to give away a prize for that one as well, and we're
Nice.
going to start listening to them. I don't think we'll listen to all of them on that one episode. We'll maybe listen to maybe the winner that we pick, and then from then on we'll kind of incorporate.
Just put them in each show.
Yeah, put them in the
Yeah.
intro of each show or something like that for people to kind of check out, because a lot of them are really cool, and thanks you guys for doing that.
Yes.
All right. So what we want to talk about, we want to make sure that you guys, we want to make an announcement, I guess, is that the AT&T event for July 12th is in Arlington, Texas, and if you are unaware of this event, on July 12th, we're taking the DDRV down to the AT&T Stadium, and you're going to get your opportunity to take a tour of the stadium, or you can take a tour and play throw discs in the AT&T Stadium.
Yes.
Should we tell them about the extra
The
news?
10th hole.
The 10th hole. Okay, so we announced it that there would only be 9 holes because there was one particular hole that we weren't sure they were going to authorize.
It's a double mando.
It's a double mando. Go ahead. Oh, that's it?
That's it.
That's it. Is that all we're going to tell them?
That's all. Think
Okay.
about it. What could be a double mando?
Oh, yes. It's a double mando, and you will get a chance to throw an amazing shot in the stadium. So anyway, just the other day I heard from the representative at AT&T Stadium, it has been approved, so there will actually be 10 holes, and hole number 10 is going to be a very special, cool hole. Hole. Can't get that out. So anyway, we're excited about that. Did I say we have 250 people
250 signed up right now.
And every day more and more people are signing up, and I think as we get closer, people are going to finally decide to, I'm going to do this. So
I think you should do this. It's a potential once in a lifetime opportunity.
Well, yeah.
I mean, very unique. Who doesn't want to go inside Jerry's World and throw discs? I mean,
any stadium.
Yeah, any stadium for that matter. But Jerry's World's like, it's
like big time.
It's big time. Definitely.
I know one question you had when it was, can people sign up the day of?
Yes.
Because they live nearby. If you live like within driving distance and you live nearby, the thing is, yes, if we have spots open, we'll allow signups. But I will tell you that we can only handle so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And if we hit that spot, then we're going to have to turn people away and say no, because we just, they're not going to get the full experience.
We're only allowed so many, registration for people to get in. And I for one know that I wouldn't want to miss out, especially if it was in my backyard.
Exactly.
And so just to be safe, sign up now. And you can go to dynamicdisc.net and under the tournaments.
Well, dynamicdisc.com.
Okay, .com. Yeah, .com.
Click on the tournament tab, and you can actually see the
or you
sign
can
up
search for it on Facebook, and there's a page
Yep.
for it, and there's links on that page that'll take you right to the registration page that you can get signed up for.
Yeah, so definitely check out the AT&T Stadium event
Yes,
for sure.
it's
disc golf experience at AT&T Stadium.
It's going to be so much fun.
And next up we have the Trilogy Challenge. I know we talk this up a lot, but people are sending in pictures and having a great time.
Oh, man.
People are loving the Trilogy discs. They are loving the Claymore, the Shield.
Loving the Shield.
That's right. Didn't you talk about it last time?
I did.
Yeah, that you were really liking the Shield.
The Shield has been great. It's not something I've been putting with, but it's a great approach and off the tee thrower for me.
Yeah.
So I'm liking the Shield.
So definitely go to trilogychallenge.com, see if there's an event near you.
And if there's not an event near you, what should they do?
You can host one.
Oh.
Even those people have already signed up. In fact, we're having people that are telling us they want to run another one. So it's
been that successful for certain people.
Yeah,
so,
if you've already ran one, or if you have one scheduled and you're thinking, I may want to run another one, give us a call. Send us an email. Actually, send us an email. Don't call. Send an email to trilogychallenge@dynamicdisc.com and get another event registered. We will be more than happy to have you do that. Let's see. So last weekend we had, I think we told you guys about Dynamic
Father's Day.
For Father's Day, we went out to the mall and had a little bit of a setup, little basket with a little bit of turf.
The turf
and some fake trees
and the lap
stuff.
basket. The pictures on the Facebook page were amazing. You did a great job there.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
So we had a few families come out there with their kids, and some fathers come out there and putt and pick up some gear and some stickers and stuff.
Pretty cool.
So that was really cool. So if you're a pro shop out there and you have connections with your local mall, Might be a good idea to set something up, help grow the sport.
Yeah, let people that are just going out there to shop, that have no idea about it, and see what's going on over here. Let's go here and check this out. It's just one more person that's introduced to the sport.
Well, I remember when I was a manager at the Buckle a few years ago.
The Buckle.
That's
awesome. Bobby Brown.
The Buckle. And we would do little things in the middle, the little fountain court, whatever they had in the middle of the mall where I worked at. And the mall loves things like that because it gets more people out there. Yep. It makes their mall look like they got a lot of things going on. So definitely contact the mall manager in your area.
Yes.
All right, so then the next we got coming up is the new discs. We want to make sure you guys understand or know the discs that just came out. We have the Biofusion Verdict.
Yes.
So if you really love your Verdict, and I believe is that one of the discs you have?
Yes, it's the Verdict is a disc that I carry. Okay. Yes, it's an overstable mid-range. It's an overstable complement to the Truth, actually.
Nice.
So
so now we have it in the Biofusion,
which is our recycled plastic.
Yeah. Now, would you say it would affect the flight very much, or just more the feel?
The feel, not necessarily the flight as much. Different plastics will beat in quicker, and the Biofusion will definitely beat in a little faster than the Fusion or the Lucid line, but it's still a great disc.
Nice.
It's a little less expensive as well.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. And of course, the next one we've been talking this up is the Latitude 64 Michelin. And that thing has been making headlines for sure.
Yeah, people have been nonstop posting videos. Actually, it's funny. Just yesterday, I believe it was, Jared Neal, who is out of Alabama.
Oh, yes.
One of the newest DD team members. He just aced with the Michelin on a 400-plus foot hole.
Nice.
So we don't know, maybe that potentially is the very first Michelin ace. First one I've heard of, at least. And that's pretty cool. Shout out to Jared Neal for that.
I'm going to have to write a note to reach out to him so he can tell me about it. We're getting a lot of positive reviews on that. And actually, this morning I noticed that allthingsdiscgolf.com, and it's kind of like a aggregator of news for all things disc golf. So anyway, they did a review of the Michelin. So go to allthingsdiscgolf.com and check out that review of the Michelin, see what you think.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, the next one we have is our very own McCabe Signature Series Mercy.
The Zero Hard is what a lot of people are confused, I know, out there on
tell us about that.
What the plastic is. It's the Zero Hard plastic, just like the regular stock stamp Run, but the gray and the green ones particularly seem to be a little bit more tacky in the hand. A little bit more grippy. I'm not sure if it's because when I asked Tomas to make them for me, I specifically asked him if he could do some cool swirly ones, and because I know a lot of people like that, and they just look good. And I don't know if that had anything to do with the tackiness, but these are definitely a little less hard and a little more tacky feeling. So I've explained it in the past as somewhere in between a medium and a hard.
Cool.
But definitely check out the McCabe Mercies if you like the Mercy and that tacky feeling in your hand.
Yeah, and this is the second stamp we've put out for the McCabe Mercy. So.
It's got Ralph on it.
Oh yeah, it's got the little thing of Ralph on there.
Little bitty Ralph.
I'm not trying to be whatever, but the picture I took of it was really cool too. If you go to the Lat64 Facebook page, I was trying to get some tell people about the McCabe Mercy over there, and I put a picture of a yellow one sitting in a basket, and the background had the red wood chips from the hole 12
elevated basket signature hole on the East course.
Yeah. Well, you said that really fast. So anyway, it's a really cool picture. So,
yeah, it's awesome.
Go to the Lat64 page and check that out.
There'll be some other awesome pictures coming soon from that location.
Yes.
As well.
That's kind of our cool spot to take pictures now.
It is.
Okay,
because it's our signature hole on the East course.
Oh, yes, it is.
Hole 12 elevated.
And then tell us a little bit more about your raffle basket giveaway.
I'm giving away a monkey trap, and it's a Russ Burns designed basket. It basically just selling raffle tickets right off my website.
Nice.
And you can go to ericmccabe11674.com to check that out and purchase the tickets. Just this last week, we actually got the number plate finished. Maybe we can post a picture on the Facebook page of it, and it looks really good. I had Chris design it for us, the Dimax Master, and it's a picture of Ralph's face when he was snarling out of the RV one day. I think he was just licking his chops, and it just happened to picture, which looks like he's protecting the RV. So it's just his head, and it's got his signature paw print on one side and my signature on the other.
Nice.
And it's like green. It matches the basket. It looks really cool, but I just posted a picture of it, and maybe we can put that up on the Facebook page for people to see on the website.
All right, and then we've got coming up this weekend. Well, no. Yeah, this weekend. Gosh, I forgot what day it was.
Yeah.
This weekend,
KC Wide Open.
The big national tour, KC Wide Open. Going to be a lot of people out there playing. Tell us a little bit about the courses out there.
It's gonna be long. That I know. We're playing Waiko with rope, which means they've put down painted lines for OBs to make the course that much harder. We went up this last weekend and played it actually, and it was looking pretty good out there.
Cool.
So that's Waiko, Wyandotte. The other course is Blue Valley, which is one of the longest permanent courses in the world, over 10,000 feet.
Wow.
And tons of elevation. I mean, ups and downs, and you're tired by the end of that day, and the forecast is looking like it's going to be about 90 that day.
Nice.
So that should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Swope Gold, where they've ended the event the last 5 or 6 years, I would say, and they always have a finals out there with the top men and top women where they compete in one big sevensome, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
That's how they used to run NTs back in the day, and I know the Hamburg and Kansas City are the two events that still follow that tradition, and it's great. It's those three courses are pretty good. I'm a little disappointed about not using Waterworks.
Really?
Because, I mean, it's kind of like a staple in the event and a signature course in Kansas City. A lot of people, it's in their top 10 favorite courses, top 5 favorite courses, so it was a little weird to not see that one in the mix this year, but definitely going to be another great Kansas City Wide Open.
Cool. Well, I know that area is pretty much a nice little hub of disc golf, so there's definitely going to be a lot of people playing, a lot of people out there watching as well. And I know Jeremy Rusko is going to go out there, and I'm going to come out there to take some pictures of you and Felberg and some of the team players.
The new lat player. The RV will be there.
RV will be there set up. So if you need your fill on some discs,
or go to the Kansas City shop.
Yes, check out the Kansas City shop. So, all right. So we're going to move on to product reviews now.
Yes.
And we actually, for the YouTube people, we have a special guest that he's out working. We just sent him a text to have him come in here, and here he is. Come on in. So we thought it would be. Come on over on this side, Corey. So for the YouTube people, we thought it'd be. We thought it'd be kind of cool to have somebody else come in and give their thoughts on a disc. And so we have Corey Obermeyer, who is just now on the new Team Latitude 64, and he's going to take my place because these are the disc experts for sure. So they're going to talk about a Latitude disc that he likes to throw.
Sweet. Welcome, Corey.
Hello.
Whoop. Turn it up. All right. Well, what disc are we going to talk about today?
Today I have the Opto Scythe.
Mm-hmm.
This disc, before I switched over my bag to Latitude and DD and Westside, I threw a lot of Discraft and some Innova. But one of my favorite discs from the Discraft line was the Flick.
Very flat profile.
Right. And you can see from this one, this definitely has a super flat top to it. Let's see. There we go.
What are you typically throwing the Scythe for?
A forehand.
Forehand shots?
Yep.
I know a lot of people are really liking the disc for forehands.
Right. That was the biggest thing when I switched over to the line was not finding that flick that I used to have. Because everything had too much. I like the flat disc where it feels comfortable in the hand when I'm flicking it. So when they came out with this Opto Scythe, I walked up to it and I put it in the backhand position. I was like, I like it. It's comfortable, but I didn't know if I'd really like it that much actually throwing it. But then I put it into the flick formation, and it felt like the disc got flicked to me. So I was pretty excited to get this out and throw it. And it actually turned out to be almost pretty close to the flick itself. It's a little bit more stable, I would say, than the flick itself.
Would you say that there's any overlap with, say, the Scythe, the Giant, and the Enforcer? Could you carry all three of those discs?
Yeah, and I do. But I wouldn't. I mean, I haven't really backhanded very often. I haven't practiced it with the backhand, just mainly for the forehand.
Mm-hmm.
Not the reason why is because I won't flick the other ones is because the domey of the disc.
Yep.
You know, the super flat scythe is just awesome. But yeah, I do have all three in the bag. So
yeah, all three are great discs, great overstable drivers, and the scythe, as Corey mentioned, is nice and flat. And it's got the a nice rim on the bottom that is really nice for the forehand. It fits in the hand really well, nice and pretty overstable disc, I would say, and pretty predictable.
Yeah. When we went out and threw the other day at Waterworks, we had 20 mile, probably 15 mile.
Yep.
Headwind.
Pretty good wind out there.
Yeah, one of the holes I picked it up because the basket was to the right, and I mean I'm going to choose a forehand sometimes over a big ante, and I stepped up in this giant headwind and actually flicked it on a slight hyzer, and it just stood up and just did a little flex, but came back really hard. So I know I have confidence in this disc for not flipping out on me.
Yeah, it was very windy that day when we were out there. So check out the scythe, and it's in the Opto plastic. Great for forehands, and it's a great backhand disc as well. It's just how Corey prefers to throw the disc with his forehand. So,
yep.
Well, thanks for Corey for coming on the show, and good luck this weekend. I know you will be competing at the Kansas City Wide Open as well. So, good luck up there. Corey's the newest member of Team Latitude 64. So, thanks, Corey.
Thanks.
All right. Now, let's talk a little bit about another disc.
Another disc.
A couple discs that we chose to talk about today are actually both mid-range discs.
Yes.
And first off is the DD Fugitive, which was actually one of the original 4 discs that came out when we first came out with our line. A year and a half, 2 years almost now, I guess. Fugitive. What do you think about the Fugitive? Do you throw the Fugitive?
I don't. When I first came out, I did have, obviously, because that's
first
what we
came
had
out.
When it first.
Sorry, I had to.
When the disc first came out, yes, I grabbed it because
of course, I did as well.
It is very straight. It did not end up staying in my bag, just because of my style of throwing, but. I know it's one of those discs that isn't the most popular disc, but when I look on Facebook and I see people on YouTube, the people that like their Fugitive love their Fugitive.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
And it is a very straight driver. In fact, I remember when the disc first came out, I went to. It was at Sailor Ranch, and I believe it was your Page and yours fundraiser tournament out there. And I was just walking around, and I was asking people, "Hey, what do you think of the dynamic discs?" Because they just barely came out. And one guy said, "Well, I've never thrown it," and another guy says, "Well, throw my Fugitive." And I caught it on film, him throwing a Fugitive for the first time.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, and
that
he was
awesome.
Amazed because how straight it is. Such a straight.
It was flyer. It was on a hole out there that was slightly uphill with a gap you had to hit off the tee, and he hit that. He just pured the gap.
Yeah. So, again, I thought, you know what? It's not that popular, but the people that need it and like it, they may want it. And so if you need
it's a really easy to throw. Yeah. It's slower mid-range. It's not as fast as the Truth or the Verdict or any of those discs that are out, but it's nice and straight. It'll hold a line. It's just a pretty all-around good disc.
And it feels good in the hand. I mean, it's not, it's
nice got a slight bead on it.
Yeah.
So
definitely, if you're, I know that the DDRVs that they have a lot of test discs, and so if you ever think about it, grab a Fugitive and give it a throw.
What plastics is it available in right now?
This one is Lucid, and it is also available in. I have no idea.
You have no idea? Okay. Well, moving on. No,
I think it's
just kidding. It is
right
available in we have it in Biofusion as well.
That's the one I have.
And we have it in Classic. You have it? You didn't even know?
I don't have it in my bag.
Okay.
It's like sitting in
that makes
my
sense.
stash of. I tried these and I need to do something else with
them.
Yeah.
So those 3, and then coming soon. It is available in the stock stamp of Fusion. Because right now, I don't think it's available right now, but in the past it has been available for Dymax in Fusion. But it'll be available along with the the Truth that we have out, the Judge, and all of our line that we have, the Fusion line. So look for the Fugitive in Fusion plastics.
Cool. The next one is the West Side Tursus.
Tursass.
And it's got the octopus on it.
Yes.
Now, do you throw this?
I don't throw that one, but I know a lot of people that do throw it, and I know if I regularly played wooded courses more, I would have the Tursus in my bag.
I have one in my bag, and it's one of those discs that I don't throw a lot, but when I know I need it, I use it.
For right turns?
For right turns. So what I like to do is when I release it slightly at an angle, and then I know it's going to come, and then it's
slight Anheuser
angle, and then it's going to come. I'm not good with terms like that.
No, it's fine. I was just doing that for the people listening on the podcast who can't see.
Yeah, that's true. They can't see me. So slight Anheuser, and then it'll do a little S for me and come back at a Heiser.
Always finishes left for you.
Finishes left for me. In fact, what the hole is that, Peter Pan? That you yelled at me or something to throw a Tarsus. It was a
16?
No, the one that's where the creek is right next to us. And you have to throw over the.
Oh yes, that's 10.
Is it 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so I threw in a whole 10, and you have to, because there's a Mando.
Yes, there's a Mando.
Yeah, so you have to get around the Mando. So I threw this thing, and it just had the perfect little turn for me. I loved it.
And it worked perfect, and you parked it.
And I parked
You're welcome.
it. And and I had to bow and thank Eric McCabe.
The Tursus is great. It's available in VIP and TP, tournament plastic, both. Which one do you prefer?
I prefer the tournament plastic.
The TP plastic. That's more of on the West Side line. What I like is the TP plastic a lot in my Kings and Giants. But the Tursus it's a great understable mid range. If you have a bigger arm, you can pop it out there with a Heiser up high and let it just hold to the right in Anheuser line. And it usually for me when I throw it won't come back. So if I need something to finish right and just glide right for days, that's what I throw.
And just real quick for everybody, the Fugitive, the numbers are speed 5, glide 5, turn -0.5, and fade 1.5.
As where the Tursus is
speed 5, glide 5, turn -3, and then a fade of 1.
So somewhat similar. Not maybe a little bit more turn on the Tursus and the Fugitive, but. Yeah. But yeah, those are both pretty much underrated mid-ranges from the Trilogy lineup that you guys should go out and check out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and then we're going to skip over this one. We'll just real quickly, of course.
Oh, yeah. Again, what's this disc?
This episode sponsored by
The Truth.
The Truth. So I know we talk up this disc a lot.
But it's such a good disc.
For good reason. It's just such a good all-around good utility disc. I use it for mid-range shots. I know Eric will use it off the tee sometimes.
I use it off the tee a lot. Yeah, it's borderline fairway driver.
You think?
Because as far as it goes.
Yeah.
It's quick. Far. It goes far. It glides for days.
So you got this one with Eric McCabe on it, and then we've got all kinds of other stamps on there and stuff like that. So definitely check those out. Cool. All right, let's move on to y'all's questions. All right, the first question comes from Bill, and Bill says, I'm a beginner and an older player with a slower arm speed. It's been suggested to me that I check out the West Side Air discs. My favorite disc right now is a VIP Hatchet, which I throw laser straight, roughly 280 feet. So I'm looking for 2 pieces of advice. What disc should I start looking at in air plastic? I'm assuming that I'll be able to throw higher speed drivers, but how much higher? The Hatchet is a 9. Should I look at the Northman, the Sword, or even, gasp, the Giant? Ooh. 2, the air plastic discs seem to be a little rare outside of Europe. My club is even having a hard time tracking some down. Any suggestions of where I can purchase these new weapons?
Absolutely. Well, you can pick up all those weapons at dynamicdisc.net.
.net.
.net.
.com.
Or .com, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go to .com and you can access .net through .com.
Right.
But you can pick them up at our stores. I would think most places that sell the Trilogy lineup would have the air plastic, but I know for a fact that we have them.
Right.
And if you're throwing, what disc is he throwing right now? Did you say the hatchet? Mm-hmm. He's throwing the hatchet right now, and it's a fairly understable disc as is, and he can throw it nice and straight. I wouldn't recommend picking up a giant right away. That one's going to be very overstable. Even in the air plastic, that disc is pretty overstable. Some discs that I would recommend are the Westside King. It's a understable, high-speed distance driver. I mean, that thing is really high speed. I think it's a speed 14. Ooh. So it's really fast. So if you're not into the higher speed discs, then I would probably have to say the Renegade from DD. We have the Air Renegade, yes. And I'm not sure if it's a 10. I think it's a 10 speed. I'm not 100% sure on that right now, but it's a great disc for beginners or players that have somewhat slower arm speed. I would definitely recommend the Air Renegade if you're throwing the hatchet nice and straight.
Now, would you say he says that he's been told that the air might help him? Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
that the air would
absolutely,
help him?
Absolutely. The air could definitely help as long as you're not playing somewhere that's always just ridiculously windy.
Right.
I mean, if there's a big wind, I don't recommend throwing the air plastic around too much. But get out there, try Air Renegade, and let me know how it works.
All right, the next one is from ATM, and ATM says, what are the advantages of throwing fairway drivers? If I'm able to get my mid-range out there with good distance and having my distance driver cover the farther shots, why have fairway drivers in my bag?
It's a good question. I know for forever when I was with Discraft, I never carried fairway drivers. I didn't see a need for them, just exactly like you posted there. But now that I've moved on to the Trilogy lineup, the Truth is what I throw mostly for my fairway driver,
right.
With the exception of I have an Escape and a Trident in there now for a little bit longer shots, more consistent shots, and more so when most people say get a fairway driver in the bag, when they're more talking about a Trident or a Triple X, something that's really overstable and trusting that you can just throw out there and know what it's going to do, know it's going to finish left, know it's going to cut through that headwind. So that's more or less what most people are talking about when they talk fairway drivers.
I like my Escape.
Escape's a great fairway driver.
I can't, a lot of people throw the Escape and they can get a lot of distance, but I can't get a lot of distance, and I think I like that because I know it won't go too far for me. So that's what I like. All right, the next one is from Lunchbox. It's Lunchbox, and he says, Eric and the Breeze, love the show as always. I have two questions. Back when I started playing, I remember watching an old Discraft YouTube video called 5 Tips to Save 5 Strokes. What is Eric McCabe's, the 2010 World Champion's 5 Tips to Save 5 Strokes? And then what do you like to carry in your bag besides discs? So far, I just have my wallet, phone, keys, and an extra pair of socks, which is actually a good idea.
Yes, that's a great idea. Great idea. Underwear?
No.
Okay. I thought you said that for some reason. It kind of threw me off.
So what would be 5 tips from you to save 5 strokes?
Well, 5 tips to save 5 strokes.
Tip number 1.
That's a good question. That's putting it on the line right there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, number 1, keep a good head.
Okay.
Stay positive. What? What's so funny?
I don't know. Go ahead.
What's
nothing? Go on.
Stay positive and stay in the moment.
Okay.
Which is kind of like 2 tips. So that's 2. We got 2 now.
Okay.
Now, okay. Well, first off, let's go back to the stay positive. Staying positive during a round if you have a bad break, or if you're playing with somebody who happens to be getting lucky, the whole round. You definitely want to try to just not focus on that. Just focus on the good that's happening in the round. Focus on the putt that you've made, and staying positive throughout the round. And the more positive you stay, honestly, the better you'll play. I mean, if you're out there with a negative attitude saying, "Oh, I can't do this," or, "Woe is me," kind of things, you're not gonna succeed. You got to stay positive. You got to stay positive.
Yeah, mindset is for sure a big thing.
Another tip for playing well is know the course. Know the shots that you're playing. If you're playing a course that you don't know, that you're not familiar with, like say at a tournament, I would definitely spend an extra couple seconds studying the whole course, the whole hole, knowing where the OB is, knowing where you want to be and where you don't want to be. If that means you got to take time to walk down the fairway, take the time to walk down the fairway, you know?
And I remember one of your tips you gave a while back was if you had time to walk the course backwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you have time before the round, go and walk the course backwards so you know what shots and you know how far this particular tree is from the basket, so I can just aim for that tree because I know I can make that 15 to 20 footer where that tree is. I mean, a lot of people when they're throwing approaches and shots into the green, they think, I got to get it right by the pole. Got to get it right by the pole. Well, that's not the case. You just got to get within your putting circle, whatever you're comfortable with. Yep. So,
just make sure that other people aren't practicing when you walk it backwards.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, that's fine. Just don't get hit by it.
Yeah, just don't get hit. Yeah.
Another one would be, let's see, another great tip to improve your game: practice. Definitely practice. And by practice, I mean, don't just go out and play rounds of golf. Go out and throw shots. Go out into a field. I've been doing this a lot the last couple weeks, is going out to an open field and only taking my mid-ranges or only taking one particular driver. And when I practice my putting, I have a stack of the same putter.
Right.
And make a game out of it. Have fun with it. You know? Go out there and take a buddy with you and play horse or pig or disc or whatever you want to do. Play 21. Make up your own games. That's a key to get better faster, is have fun with it. Because if you're not having fun, if it's more of a grind and work, then is it worth it? You know, if you're not having fun.
Well, then you've already messed with the whole mindset thing of going out and practice.
It goes back to number one.
Yeah.
Stay positive.
Always. But yeah, I mean, like we've stressed before in other episodes, practice with intention. In other words, intentionally go out and practice. Like Eric said, grab just your drivers, grab just your mid-range, or grab just one particular disc and practice with that one. I know the other day I was on one of my walks, and you and Denise were out with putters.
Yeah.
And you actually were she was practicing some of her shots, and you were throwing them from, there were two baskets that weren't quite far, about?
Yeah, they were like 150 feet.
Yeah, so there were certain shots they were practicing and putting and things like that. So
one was our practice basket and one was a hole on the course, and we were just actually, at one point we were playing catch back and forth. We had a stack of medium judges, the blend judges, and we were just throwing them. She was concentrating on her approaches, and I was practicing my approaches. So she would stand at one basket, I would stand at the other, and we would just throw back and forth.
Nice.
So that worked out really well.
Right, intentionally practicing, not just going out there and throwing some discs around saying that you're practicing.
Yeah. Okay, number 4 would be to, I just had it, and I lost it because I was trying to think about what I was doing last night.
You got me, man.
Another great tip would be ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking and watching, taking it all in. If it's a rainy day, go to YouTube. YouTube has thousands of how-to videos. It's ridiculous. I mean, just our side alone, we have a bunch of old-school McCabe minutes that we should bring back at some point. But you can definitely go out and you know, most of the local pros are more than happy to help you with asking questions, or go to our Facebook group and ask on there.
Yep.
You know, we've been doing that a lot. You know, we've been seeing that a lot on there, and I get on there as often as I can with all the other stuff I've got going on to answer as many questions as possible. But ask questions. There's nothing wrong with asking questions.
Or even dgcoursereview.com has forums. Reddit.com has a disc golf forum where you can go out there and ask questions.
And most of the top pros have their own YouTube page.
Yeah, and so definitely do not be afraid to ask questions.
Okay, and number 5 is going to be, when you're in tournament play, stay to your game. Stay to your level. Let's say you're playing with someone who can throw the disc a little bit further than you, or someone who's potentially a little bit better than you maybe. Don't worry about what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing. Stay in the moment. Like, for instance, if there's a shot over a water or something, and it's just out of your range, and the person before you tees off and goes for it and makes it, well, that doesn't mean that you necessarily need to do that. If you need to lay up. There's no shame in that.
Yep.
There's no point in playing out of your own level. There's practice rounds for that, where you go out and work on those kind of shots.
You may be wanting that birdie so bad, but a 3 is so much better than a 4 or a 5.
Or a 6 or a 7.
Yeah. So, okay, so those are some 5 tips from Eric. Stay positive, know the course, practice with a purpose or practice intentionally. Ask questions and stay in your game.
Stay in your game. He had another question. He had a second part to that question.
I know. What do you like to carry in your bag?
Yeah. Dog treats.
I was going to say something with Ralph.
Yeah. Dog treats and a leash. I don't keep a lot in my bag, but of course here lately I've been changing out my bag so often. I mean, you never know what bag I'm going to be carrying. It's kind of funny. But definitely an extra towel, just in case.
Like a chamois towel, too.
Like a chamois, yeah. Or something else that I've always recommended is a couple extra minis, just in case you leave a mini, or your buddy says, "Dude, I don't have a mini." Well, boom, here you go.
There you go.
Have a couple extra minis in there.
Cool.
And a dirt bag.
Oh, of course.
I can't recommend that enough. Grab a dirt bag. If it's raining, man, that thing's a lifesaver. Lifesaver.
And so Lunchbox says he has a wallet, phone, keys, and extra pair of socks. And somebody might think, well, why does he need an extra pair of socks? I know that in the Marine Corps, when we would go on hikes, we'd go on 15-mile hikes, we would have like 3 or 4 extra pair of socks because your feet get all sweaty. And
your feet are your friend.
Right, and they're rubbing on your shoes and stuff like that. And to be able, I think every 5 miles we would change our socks, and to put on fresh socks would be just such a relief.
Yeah, and when your feet are gone, I mean, you're done.
Yeah, you don't want big old blisters on your feet.
Keep your feet happy.
All right, the next one is from Justin, and he says, "Hey guys, I love your show and disc reviews you guys do. Now I have a question regarding the core. I've been throwing Z-Buzzes for over 4 years and want to switch over to the Trilogy equivalent. What disc do you recommend and why? Also, how similar are the core to a Z-Buzz?"
This is a very popular question that comes up quite a bit on the Trilogy fan page there on Facebook. And some people are going to tell you the core is the equivalent. Some people are going to tell you the truth is the equivalent. Some people are going to say the warship or the new Claymore. There's so many choices out there, and it's really honestly whichever feels better for you between those discs that I just named, because they're all straight flying mid-ranges. They're all similar. I mean, there's really no said replacement for each disc. There's just discs that fly similar. Meaning, when I switched over, I was a Discraft guy for 10 years, and I threw the Buzz like it was my business. You know what I'm saying?
Business.
And since then, I've gone with the Lucid Truth.
Nice.
And it has completely replaced it. And I can honestly say when I grabbed a Buzz the other day, just feeling it, I was like, wow, I don't know how I used to throw this. It doesn't feel as comfortable in my hand as the Truth does now.
Wow.
And that's a true statement. That's not, just, get a Truth.
That's the truth.
So definitely either a Truth. The core, not, as far as flight characteristics go, yes, I would say it's very similar. But as far as feel goes, the Truth is what you're going to want for feel and flight. The core is a little more rounded on the edge, so it's not quite as Buzz-like. But definitely the Claymore, the Truth, and the Warship are 3 that are ones you should check out.
I would definitely take that advice, Justin, because if anybody knows the feel of a Buzz,
yes,
that would be Eric, because that was his big disc back in the Discraft days.
Yes, it was.
So say that. Okay, so he should try out a Truth.
A Truth. A Truth.
Claymore.
A Claymore,
now,
which is
a Trilogy disc.
You're going to have to play a Trilogy challenge to get one, or you can pick them up on those auction pages. I know a lot of people are selling them after they play the event. Or the West Side Warship.
West Side Warship. And try a core, see if you like it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely.
All right, the next one is from Cormac, and Cormac says, I always have difficulty on selecting a type of disc for longer approaches. I'm not very good at controlling my putter at high speeds, but I'm scared. Wow, entire sentence. Hold on, let me break this down. Sorry.
Break it down, Baba.
I always have difficulty on selecting a type of disc for longer approaches. I'm not very good at controlling my putter at high speeds, but I'm scared to throw my mid-range too far past the basket. Any advice I could use to solve that problem?
Yeah. Get a more overstable putter.
A more overstable
I'm not sure what he's throwing right now for his putter, but if he would pick up a Harp or a Cenis, either one of those 2 discs are very, very overstable, and they're discs that you can you can trust in throwing hard for an approach shot.
Okay.
And not have to worry about throwing the mid-range at 60 to 70% so you don't fly past the basket. So those two discs right there are great overstable drivers that you can throw nice and flat and put a lot of pop on and know that they're not going to just flip over like a lot of putters would.
So for some of newbie listeners, why the overstable again? Why is that so important?
It'd be just overstable just because if you're throwing just like a judge and you're trying to throw it at full speed flat, it's just going to turn over.
Okay.
It's going to fly over, especially if you don't have the touch.
Okay.
And that's where the Harp and the Cenis, a couple very overstable putters, come into play. So you can just put a little more pop on them.
Okay.
And they're not going to just turn right over. They're going to fly pretty straight and then dump.
Nice. All right, the next one was from Radlin. Radlin says, "Hi, Eric, Missile and McCabe, and Cool Daddy Opto-Hex Breeze." Apparently, he's a fan of the Opto-Hex Missile. Thanks for a wonderful show. My question is for both of you. Oh. You and I talked about this.
All right.
Let us hear about the ball golf versus disc golf rematch. Is he talking about what I think he's talking about?
I think he's talking about.
What are your plans for the event, and what do you think the results will be? Bobby, are you coming as well? How about video coverage? I will try to be present to see the match with my own eyes. Keep on doing this great work.
Keep on keeping on.
Keep on.
Well, what he's talking about is this summer, the Breeze and I will be traveling to Sweden. Sweden, right after the AT&T Stadium event on July 12th.
Yeah, like right after.
Like the next day.
I know.
But anyway, we're going up there, and it's going to be myself, David Feldberg, Devin Owens, and Tomas Ekstrom. All four of us will be competing against 4 professional ball golfers.
That's going to be so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're playing on a golf course. I believe the way it's going to be set up is just head-to-head, and we're just going to have baskets off the greens. And honestly, I'm not sure how it's gonna work out. I think it'll be close. I think the battle will be close. I know.
Now wait, are you gonna So you're gonna? How is it gonna the match? Are you gonna?
I think we're just gonna play like doubles, but with 4 of us.
But are you gonna have to hit a ball golf?
No.
No.
It's just gonna be disc golf for like the top professionals of disc golf versus professional ball golfers, and they're gonna play, and we're just gonna see how many strokes it takes to play their hole, and we're going to see how many it takes to play our hole. And a lot of people think disc's going to be won handily, which, I mean, sure, around the green.
Yeah.
I mean, our 30-foot putts are going to be good,
right? And
their 30-foot putts are, I mean, it's harder to make a 30-foot ball golf putt than it is a disc golf putt. But think about the huge par 5s.
Whoa, yeah.
How much more distance they're going to get. I mean, 300 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. It's either way. I'm very excited and pumped about going over there and doing this.
And Radlin, you asked if there was going to be video coverage. Yes, it's something as cool as this. As long as they let me, definitely going to make some kind of show about it.
I don't see why we won't get some video.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be like hole by hole coverage of it, but definitely going to put something together to kind of showcase the little event.
Yes.
All right, the next one is from Dan. Dan says, "Hi, Eric and Bobby. I have 2 questions for you first. What is the most overstable mid-range in the Trilogy lineup? Does Thomas have anything in the Gator or drone stability range coming out? Second, on your release..." Okay, go ahead and answer the first one.
The first question. Well, the most overstable mid-range in the Trilogy lineup would probably be the Verdict, as far as straight-up mid-ranges go.
Okay.
And it's very predictable. I can throw it into a headwind, and it's going to finish left. Now, it's not Gator or... what was the other one? Drone. It's not quite as overstable. I'd say it flies more like a seasoned drone.
Okay.
So it's not quite as overstable. But yeah, I mean, definitely at some point in the future there will be an overstable mid-range, whether it's from west side or latitude. It's hard to say.
Nice. And so his second question is, on your release, do you let the disc rip out of your hand or do you open it? I've always been told and thought that you should let it rip out. However, Garrett Gerthy was talking about how you have to open your hand on release. What are your thoughts?
You do have to open your hand somewhat on release, but that's what creates and generates the snap, is not opening the hand. When I go out and play and just open my hand, I definitely lose distance. I mean, wouldn't that make sense to you if you have the disc in your hand and you go to throw it and you open it to let it out?
Yeah.
You're going to lose distance. Now, when you're putting, absolutely, you want to open your hand a little bit more for a push putt. But for me, I like to just rip the thing right out of my hand. Let it snap. Let it pop.
Snap, crackle, pop, baby.
Yeah.
All right, the next question is from Chris. Chris says, "Hi, I'm a new listener to the show, but it's awesome." Well, thank you, Chris. I was wondering why the one disc has a different stability from one plastic to another. Like, for example, why is the Lucid Truth more stable than the Classic Truth? Keep up the great work and thanks.
I think it's just that, the plastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, and Tomas has even mentioned this, that when he's redesigning a disc or making a disc, how even the slightest move can affect the flight tremendously. So I would say it's mainly just the plastic that really has an effect on it, whether it's a little gummier, a little stiffer, a little more rigid. So definitely the plastic has an effect on. It's the same mold.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's different plastic being put in.
Well, yeah. I mean, like Eric said, when they make they'll take a disc and they'll just make the slightest adjustment here or right here. And when I say here, I'm talking about the lip or the rim of the disc for our audio listeners. But it makes a dramatic difference because if you think about it, this thing is spinning fast and it's out there and you've got all kinds of things going on, drag affecting the flight. And so if a plastic is, it's going to affect it because maybe the way the plastic, the density of the plastic or something like that, it's going to affect the way air hits it and things like that.
Yes.
All right, the next one is from Dan again. Dan says, "Hey guys, I was at the Majestic last weekend. There was a rule debate. Maybe these ones that we need to have our disclaimer. The opinions expressed on here are that of Bobby and Eric, and not necessarily that of Dynamic Disc, Latitude 64, Westside Discs, or anyone else." So he says Ricky Wysocki foot faulted on the tee and was called out by Johnny McRae.
Oh.
It was a bad shot, and Ricky wanted to take the rethrow. Johnny said it wasn't seconded so that it didn't count. Garrett said that it didn't need a second, which is the rule, but they went into a long debate where no one wanted to make the call. Can you take back your call like that? Shouldn't at least one of them had a rule book? Sorry for the long-winded question. Keep up the good work.
It's not that long-winded of a question.
No, it's a good one.
Absolutely. Something similar happened in Texas States with me and Ricky.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, absolutely. If Johnny McRae called Ricky on a foot fault, then it says that he wanted to take the rethrow. Well, there's no wanting about it.
Right.
If you get called on that foot fault, you have to rethrow on the first one, and it doesn't need to be seconded anymore on the first one. Now, I believe someone like if Garrett was on the tee or on the card with them, he can argue the fact that it wasn't a foot fault, you're just out to get him, blah, blah, blah. Then that could be a little different story, but yeah, you can't take it back after you've called the foot fault. You call one foot fault for the first time, it doesn't need to be seconded. He has to rethrow. He has to rethrow. And then from then on the player, so if Ricky on the next hole were to foot fault, then it would need to be seconded because there's strokes involved.
Wow. So, and then he said, Dan says, shouldn't they have at least had a rule book on them? And yeah, they probably should have.
Somebody should have had a rule book on them. I mean, it was an A-tier event too, so there should be an certified official there to make the call as well.
Somebody close by that they could have discussed it with, but apparently maybe they just kind of let it.
And it happens. That kind of stuff happens all the time, and you got to know the rules. Especially these top professionals, they got to know the rules.
Yeah. All right, let's see. That's all the questions we have. So kind of a short list of questions, but let's see if anybody has any questions on the YouTube channel. Let's see He likes that Emacs rock in the stash, question mark?
Oh, yeah. No.
No?
I actually just shaved the stash. You should have seen it before.
All right. Someone says, would Eric talk about his mental side of the putting practice?
Yeah.
I'm a 7-year 915 rated player. I'm going to commit to practice putting more. Seems as though I'm trained to miss putt. So talk about the mental side of practicing while you putt.
As far as the mental side of practice putting, go out and spend a good 15 to 20 minutes just straight up putting from 15 to 20 to 30 feet. Go out by yourself. Don't go out with anybody for distractions.
Right.
And, you don't want to keep it much longer than a 20 to 25 minute session because then your mind gets bored. You start to wander. But that solid 15 minutes of intense putting will definitely show results when you step up in a tournament, and it's just like clockwork. So definitely go out and like I've always said, keep a positive attitude, and you'll see results.
One thing you might do, and I know it works when I'm at work, or I probably need to start doing it again, but is actually setting a timer.
Uh-huh.
And so if there's something that I don't want any distractions or whatever, I'll set a timer for 20 minutes, and I'll say, okay, for 20 minutes, I'm going to work on this one particular project. I'm not going to answer email. I'm not going to check Facebook. I'm not going to check my phone. I'm not going to answer a call for that 20 minutes. And so that I've got that. So maybe
and when you're out there, leave the phone in the car.
Yeah.
Go out by yourself and just really concentrate on that 15, 20 minutes.
Let's see, another comment. Hey, guys, greetings from Germany. Nice. I'm about to run my first tournament here. Going to be a C tier. Nice.
Very cool.
I wonder if I should rather do 4 or 5 player flights.
Divisions.
Probably. What do you prefer, Eric?
Player flights. I assume that's what he's talking about.
Divisions, maybe?
Is divisions, but I would say, if that is what you're talking about, which maybe you can comment back, is you need a pro division, open men, open women. You need a masters. I assume that's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
And as far as the amateur side goes, I know that gets a little crazy at times on how many do I do, how many should I offer. I would recommend a advanced, an intermediate, and a recreational.
Okay.
That's all you really need.
Oh.
I mean, I feel you don't need a bunch of different amateur divisions, and you just have people competing, that are potentially the same skill level in different divisions.
Nice. Let's see. DG Weekly says he's glad he actually made it for the live one. We're glad you're here. And and the reason I read that one is that DG Weekly just put out a 3-part review of the 3 discs: the Claymore, the Shield, the Shield, and the Thief. And so we put together a real quick review, and I posted that on the Trilogy Challenge Facebook page, and it actually should be, if it hasn't already, it's scheduled to post on the Dynamic Disc Facebook page. So either check it out on our Facebook page, or you can go out to YouTube and search DG Weekly, and you can see one guy's perspective on the 3 discs that go along in the Trilogy Challenge. So if you're kind of on the fence whether you want to get in on a Trilogy Challenge, maybe this will help you make that decision. Let's see. Someone else says, going to run any more of those Truth T-shirts?
Oh yeah, we've got some, I believe, in the shop right now.
Shop, yeah. I will tell you one thing on that. Just a little extra to our listeners is that me being on board here now, we're going to definitely put a more emphasis on DD apparel.
Yes.
And I know that me and I don't want to get bothered. Should I?
No.
Okay. So I'm definitely going to work on getting some cool designs for T-shirts, because I really want to start getting to where you can represent your love for disc golf off the course, not just on the course.
Yes.
So definitely stay tuned to our website for some pretty cool T-shirts. More, I mean, I love these shirts. Don't get me wrong, but more of the stuff that you could see yourself wearing on a Friday night when you go out with your buddies and go out partying or something like that. So anyway, stay tuned for more of that. Let's see. Bjorn said 4 players per group.
Oh, okay.
Number of players
per card.
I gotcha.
Is what he's saying. For a nice smaller event, threesomes or foursomes. I prefer foursomes pretty much anywhere I go. I wouldn't get into fivesomes if you don't have to. Only do a fivesome, if there's only like 5 in your division, or if the numbers work out to where only 5 will work. But keep it simple, 3 to 4. And you'll do just fine.
Yeah, definitely. If the course you're playing on has a tendency to have a backup, you want to make sure you plan that out, because you don't want to kind of put a damper in everybody's game.
And you don't want, if there's only 5 ladies, you don't want everybody to be playing in a threesome and then the 5 ladies in a group, or the 5 masters in a group, or whatever the case may be.
Cool.
But yeah, thanks for running your first event.
Yeah, that's awesome. Make sure you go to our Facebook group and tell us how it went. Tell us how your event went for sure, and tell us the name of it. Let's see real quick. Someone says, "Great show, guys. What are the elements that make a tournament great for you?"
The elements of a tournament?
Lots of money.
Lots of money added to that tournament. Probably just a good course, nice quality course. Definitely added cash is a plus, but I think that goes without saying. Even friendly atmosphere, the TD wanting to be there and not acting like it's a job to be there is always a plus. So
for me, one of the things that I always was impressed with Dynamic Disc is that when I first started doing video and photos for disc golf, is that when you went to a DD event, it was an experience. You had the music blaring, you had somebody on a mic.
The RV.
The RV was there, all decked out. Players were helping, team players were helping, answering questions, and it wasn't just like you just showed up real quick and you had a table out there and you gave somebody your name and they gave you some discs and a T-shirt.
It was very organized.
It was organized, and it felt like an event, and that's when I knew I wanted to make sure I was a part of that, the whole experience. Someone asked on the Facebook group, is there a schedule for these shows? And unfortunately, no, because we tried to do these on the early in the week, because if Eric's traveling to a tournament, we know come closer to the weekend he's probably going to be leaving, and just with different duties that are going on, it's very hard to schedule the live. That's why the audio is so much better, because we could do it whenever we want and just kind of push it out there. So the YouTube live part's kind of just like a little bonus that we thought would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
And so no, unfortunately, there is no way to say we're going to regularly schedule, because there's times where we say, okay, we're going to meet at 10:30, and then a container shows up.
Yeah.
And everybody's got to chip in to get the container unloaded. So
one of the good things about the live is, you may not be able to watch it live every time, but it is archived, and you can go back and watch it.
You can go back and watch it.
So
me and Eric are actually cooking up an idea that maybe will take place of the live.
And it's not just we're cooking up an idea. It's going to happen.
It's going to
eventually.
Well, it's in the oven, so we eventually have to take it out.
That's true. So I guess we've already, put the ingredients in.
Right. Yes.
So it's just bacon. We're just waiting for that buzzer to go off.
All right. Bjorn says, "Thanks for the advice and sorry for my bad English." No worry, man. No worries at all. Well, it looks like the questions are kind of slowing down on the YouTube and Facebook page, so we'll kind of call it wraps on this one.
Cool.
We appreciate everybody tuning in for sure. Make sure, let's recap. Make sure you check out dynamicdisc.com, check out the tournament schedule, and check out AT&T event, the disc golf experience at the AT&T Stadium.
And one other thing on the AT&T Stadium real quick is one of the biggest questions I've been asked is parking.
Oh, yeah.
How much is parking going to be? Because they charge a lot at football games. Parking will be free.
Free, F-R-E-E.
There's no charge for parking. So don't show up at, thinking, or don't not sign up because you think, wow, I'm going to have to pay another $50 for parking. So just to throw that out there, it will be free.
Yeah, free parking. So make sure you go to trilogychallenge.com, check out to see if there's a Trilogy Challenge next near you, and if there is not, give us a shout and we will help you figure out how to get one hosted in your area. Check out the new Biofusion Verdict the new Latitude 64 Michelin, and of course the McCabe Mercy at dynamicdisc.net. Check out those new discs. We're going to be at the KC Wide Open, so we're going to have a lot to talk about next episode for sure. Yes. And go to ericmccabe11674.com. Pick up a raffle ticket for his basket giveaway. I'm going to post he's going to give me some pictures so I can post on the DD Facebook page, so you can kind of check that out if you want. And I believe that's it.
That is it. That's it.
All right, man.
That's
all right.
It.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Deuces.